Hi, I'm Adam and welcome back to First Man Photography. Now in today's video we are talking about why you, or me really is what I'm talking about, it's the biggest reason we don't get good photographs. Doesn't matter if you're a landscape photographer, macro, street, portrait, whatever. So what is looking like a very beautiful morning as the fog and mist is rolling around. Let's go. Before we get going today though, this video is sponsored by MPB. If you want to buy, sell or trade your photography or video gear, do it with MPB. So my day's starting with a very fast march. The conditions are pretty epic, but it's moving around so quickly I'm finding it really difficult to get in the right position. The potential for a great shot is there, but finding one is going to be tough. I don't want to waste it. I don't think I have too long before these conditions disappear. Right, so I've set up for a shot, and to be honest, at the moment, I'm in a bit of a blind panic because the conditions are so beautiful. Look at this mist, it's so fine and so beautiful, and with that sunlight coming through the trees there, it just looks amazing. But I know it's going to be fleeting, or I have a very strong suspicion it's going to be so fleeting, so I'm just kind of running around panicking, trying to find composition just to try and get at least one shot in these amazing conditions. And I think because of that, I'm failing. It's to do with the resistance in our minds, the blockages, the anxiety, the kind of feelings of worthlessness that all roll into one to either keep you from ever getting off the sofa, or in moments like this, it prevents clarity of thought that lets us capture and tell the story, capture the thing we want to capture and tell the story in the way we want to tell it. Because there's so many negative thoughts jumping into your mind, like for me right now, the clouds are going to disappear, the sun's going to go, the fog's going to lift, and it'll all become very high contrast and less interesting. People think the camera is the problem. People think the composition's the problem. They're not the problems, they're the challenges. Well, I'll talk about it more in a minute. I'm going to shoot because this is looking amazing. It's that sun coming through there, the backlit trees and the backlit fog. So let's just set the camera up. I'm in manual mode. At the moment, I'm at 1/160th of a second. I'm at f8 and I'm just going to shoot the composition I was filming then. I'm going to bracket as well, there's barely any wind. No, it's not focusing, come on. It's going, there we go. It's looking epic, but I'm not sure. I think it needs to be, what's going on with the camera? See, this is what I mean. Because I'm not thinking straight and I'm panicking, things are going wrong. I just need to try and calm down. But it's so hard when the conditions are this epic. People think that landscape photography is all calm and serene. Sometimes it is, but for me, it doesn't seem to happen that often. It's always in these moments I'm trying to get it all right, get it perfect, and it's in the moment it gets exciting and manic, and sometimes, like today, I lose clarity of thought over that. Right, one more look at this. I think I've got something there. I think I have. So I will put it up on the screen for you to see now. And then we'll talk a little bit more about some of this resistance that prevents us getting good shots. I'm set up for a second shot now, and I've kind of scrambled down this little bank because over on the other side are those trees there, and I think they look absolutely stunning again with that sun coming through them. And then surprisingly, all the fern is still got a kind of summer green. Maybe shows how warm the autumn has been. I still haven't quite calmed down. It's that little devil on my shoulder creating self-doubt. Because this morning I had the alarm set. I'd planned to come out. And then at the last minute, last night, I looked at the weather and it was showing nothing interesting whatsoever. So I decided I'm not going to bother. So I stayed in bed, got up at my normal time, and then started, I was disappointed with myself because that resistance had won. The devil on my shoulder had won. and I was annoyed with myself. So I got my bag into the car to drive to my studio, and then I just drove past the studio because I thought, if I go in there, get my coffee sorted like I normally do, I'm going to be annoyed. I'm going to be frustrated with myself. So I just drove straight past, and an hour later arrived here. Didn't really have this place planned whatsoever. But look what's happened because I did that. Even if these pictures, I've mucked them up, at least I gave it a shot. At least I tried. At least eventually I overcame that resistance. And it may cost me that I didn't get up that hour or two earlier. So anyway, with this composition, I'm trying two different things. I have firstly, it's these sort of, can you see those trees that are kind of, they're a really nice sort of S shape. There's two of them in a relationship, have the similar sort of curves. I've just tried, or I'm just about to try, again, another shot just of the whole bank. And see that? I mean, it's a really strange image, I think, because of my position, shooting across and a little bit up, but then with the curve of the bank. Then all the summery looking ferns still in the foreground, then the sun and the fog and the mist and the wetness of the bark all looking really good. And because the bark is looking so wet and the ferns are reflecting a lot of the light, I put a circular polarizer on to take some of that sheen off, and that's just giving it that extra bit of definition and clarity in the foreground. I'm playing around with the aperture as well. I've gone between f11, f8, f16 because I just want to get the sun looking right, basically, because the sun is slightly in the frame, although it's diffused by the cloud. I think despite my frustration, that could be pretty interesting. Right, I'm going to move on because there is a view to be had and I want to get it before, I want to see it before these conditions clear. I'll show you that one now. Right, we're going to head to a very beautiful viewpoint in a minute, and I think the conditions will mean it's going to be absolutely stunning. As you know, this video is sponsored by MPB. Now, I think MPB is probably the best place to sell your photography gear online. It just takes all the normal faff out of it. I recently decided I needed to claw a bit of money back from my photography assets, so decided to sell this 17 to 40mm lens. I was really sad to see it go because it's been an absolute workhorse for me. So went onto the MPB website, typed in the lens, and they gave me an instant quote. I then agreed to the quote, and then all I have to do is box it up and they pay for the shipping for me. They'll either let me print a label myself and take it to the depot, or alternatively they will come and collect it for you. All I then did was ship it, and then a couple of days later I received an email from them saying that they agreed with the condition, the excellent condition that I said the lens was in, and that they wanted my bank details. So I then just went onto their website again, put in my bank details, and then very, very soon afterwards that money hit my bank. It was a seamless experience. If I have any other gear to sell, I'm always now going to do it through MPB. Yeah, so check out MPB if you want to buy, sell, or trade your photography gear. Right, so I'm faced with some staggering conditions. They're changing so fast. This is almost an inversion. It's just absolutely staggering. When I came out here, there was patches of the ground I could see. The cloud had broken up a bit. There was some warm light coming through. It was amazing. I didn't have time to talk to the camera though. I think I may have captured something. But what has happened is that I'm now really enjoying myself. That's what I find happens, because when you get over that resistance, once you get over the laziness, get rid of the fear, the feeling of worthlessness is gone because you're putting energy into something. It feels good when we expend energy. It gets the blood flow going. It goes to your brain. It makes you feel more creative. It calms you. Everything feels better. You can just feel the anxiety washing out of you. So despite the very changeable conditions, I'm just now absolutely loving this. If I just stand here, I think the conditions may come to me. The woodland is still looking amazing. It's still looking beautifully foggy, but I've got 2 shots from the woods now. I don't want to miss my opportunity to get something good here. So that's what I'm going to do. At the moment, if I just go to the edge of the cliff here and be very careful, there's that little outcrop just there above the camera. You see that? That's forming the left-hand side of my frame. And then there's some trees sort of nestled just behind me there to the left of the frame. And then because there isn't really any foreground other than the edge of the cliff, I've used a bit of the bank that I'm stood on to kind of guide us in, create some foreground, guide us into the image, and then push you into what I promise you is a very, very amazing view. There's a lake, a little lake down there. There's some autumnal trees, some more trees in the distance, some little hills in the distance, and it looks great. But because of this cloud washing off the moors here over into the flatter ground there, which now just filled in with this fog again. So, like I say, I reckon if I just wait here, then it's all going to come to me. It then came time to wait. I waited and waited and waited, but eventually the higher cloud moved in and it was time to leave. But I'm left grateful. Grateful for those few fleeting minutes of absolute beauty when I was there with my camera to capture the moment forever. I pushed against the resistance, put in the energy, and returned home renewed after a meaningful day that left a deep sense of fulfillment.